Hi, this is Shadi, and today we're gonna be comparing Judo, Jujutsu versus Western catch wrestling or catch as catch can. And we're gonna see a lot of common points and also discuss the ethics of competition rules and also the effectiveness. Where is it dangerous, and at the same time, how can we leave the most effective system possible and at the same time keep it safe so we can come back day after day on the mats and train. So what we will do today is actually go through the book 1938 Guide to Wrestling Rules, found in the Japanese National Diet Library. Of course, great thanks to Eric Shehan. I was looking through the library for Western wrestling and he was able to find this gem. Of course, the link will be in the description. So the first technique is going to be the first violation, which is the double Nelson. You can understand why this technique can be very dangerous. However, it is one of the signature moves for catch as catch can, but in terms of the damage on the spine, it is very dangerous, and at the same time it can cause lasting damage. So the first one is a classical one. I was a bit surprised to find this as a violation since it is one of their specialty. So the next one is this technique here where you have a half Nelson, but check out what is happening with the arm. So if the forearm passes 90 degrees with the elbow, this is where it's considered a violation. Anything below that, you can actually do it. So you can actually learn the technique and apply it through competition and competing. But as you start to get higher and higher, of course, the risk on the shoulder becomes higher, and thus this rule was put in. So it's kind of a halfway, you want to keep it safe, but at the same time, you want to keep the technique. So this is very reminiscent of one of the least used arm locks in judo, which is the te gatame. Let's take a look at te gatame for a second. So te gatame, the basic form of it here, it's coming from this yoko wakare, or the unofficial name called ude gaishi. This is an illegal move. You can only pull it off in newaza. So here, this is the basic form of te gatame. You actually push and actually extend your torso, locking the shoulder, and of course you can also lock the elbow through it. So here is another one where you are passing someone's open guard, you block the arm, you take it here and you put it behind the back, as we've seen in the wrestling book, but obviously from another position. So here, let's see again, he's going for upside down guard, or having his open guard passed. Some will try to do like an upside down position in order to avoid the pass, but here you actually take the belt with a double undergrip, put them on their neck, which is also can be dangerous on the neck. There's one from Kawaishi's book where you can actually press them down on the neck, but here we're focusing on the arm. So you put it behind the back, locking the shoulder. So it's te gatame, hand hold. So you hold with one hand and you just press and create pressure either on the elbow or on the arm, depending on how you are doing it. So here, let's see it. It's very similar to the wrestling book. So here, it doesn't get past 90 degrees and still it looks incredibly painful. It is only by the belt level, and look how painful it can be on the shoulders. Not everyone has flexible shoulders, and thus this is very dangerous. So as you can see, he's holding with the hand and he's just pulling, hence the name te gatame. Here you can create like an Americana udegarami style lock, but since the arms are not entangled, all three arms are entangled, so it's not considered udegarami. This is just te gatame. The next one is your classical hammer lock. Same thing. The arm should not form a 90-degree angle, or the tricep, so to speak, should not form a 90-degree angle with the back, and this is where it can be dangerous. So you have a limited angle for you to do it, otherwise it's a violation. So notice the entanglement with one leg only and being on the side and pulling it off. Very reminiscent to judo's udegarami, but notice the entanglement is much different. It is diagonal and much different. Let's take a look here where they actually pointed out the leg entanglement. Notice the red arrow and how you have one shin and one leg barely hooking it in. So notice what is called shin on shin in Jujutsu, they call it. He is doing it here, and at the same time you have another one behind the hamstring locking it, and he's doing a udegarami. This is well over 90 degrees and it is considered highly dangerous. So by the book standards, this is considered a violation. Now here, this violation is when someone has your back. You can do all sorts of things, very reminiscent of Sakuraba. He would either take the arm, he would knee bar them, he would do so many things. But here, the violation is the twisting of the ankle, toe hold, or any type of leg locking concerning twisting of the leg. So, of course, you have your classical ankle lock where they make the grave mistake of locking their feet together. You can just simply extend your legs and lock their legs with yours, as you can see here demonstrated by Mifune. Here you can see the same thing. Someone is locking in ashi garami, and Mifune is simply doing a toe hold and pressing it down on them. It's the same violation as we've seen in the book, but from a different position. Here, check this framing by Mifune. It is very strange. I cannot grasp it fully because he's such a small man and I don't know how he's getting into the back. But notice what he does with the leg. It is absolutely gruesome. So here he pins him down. One hand on the leg and one hand, I believe, on the collar. So here he grabs the ankle, pulls it down, and imagine what's this doing to the knee. This is absolutely gruesome. The same thing, same violation, twisting of the ligaments. And the final one, last but not least, the one that surprised me the most, and that is head scissors. The top three, I would say, submissions for catch as catch can are your head scissors, your hammer lock, and your double Nelson. And here there are violations. Everyone is differing in a different way, but here it is a complete violation, and you can understand why. A head scissors in judo is a hansokumake as well. Let's go back to the early 1900s, book of Jujutsu, by Yukio Tani. Here you can see the head scissor, a neck lock. You can easily squeeze the head and cause all sorts of damage with this. You can triangle your legs, sure, and put your arm in, but like a head scissors straight legs, it is highly dangerous. Here you can see it. Obviously, this fight is fixed. Rikidozan versus Kimura, the signature head scissors moment. So, what I really liked about this book is that they created different from these techniques, because what angle is deemed safe. There's no safe angle for the neck twist, or here the torture rack, or this Boston crab, as you call it in catch as catch can. But I do like the idea of creating a certain angle where if you get past it, you actually create a violation. But the technique itself isn't banned, but you can easily make an argument against this particular rule. You can easily say the level of competition is very high. You want to, take something and just crank it up the way we do with heel hooks, arm bars, etc. So getting past that 90 degree is going to be easy, and nobody's going to stick to that rule. So, and at the same time, you cannot ban a technique like an udegarami. So what's the point here? And I agree, but in case you want to, maybe, I don't know, in class, or again, when it comes to training lightly for the 99.9% of us athletes who are not at the top of the level, rules like these are actually, somewhat good. An udegarami past 90 degree in training, just take care of your partner. Same thing with the teigatame, etc. So you are in this middle ground here that I really like. You can actually apply a technique, learn it, and train it with your partners. That's one thing they tell you in training, that apply a submission progressively, whether it's a strangle or a joint lock. Apply it progressively in training. So once you caught them, you caught them. So it's not about the intensity of the technique, but I can understand in competition when there is a lot of sponsorship money, there's the prize, there's the gold medal, etc. You crank it up easy. You just want to get that win. But in training, it's all about framing. It's all about, catching them in that position where they can see the submission coming from a mile away, but they cannot do anything. It's all about that. It's not the submission itself. So taking these angles and precautions in mind while applying such techniques is, in my opinion, very safe, very, very admirable. I really like the idea, and also very ethical, because you want your training partner to come back the next day for training and also get better together and benefit each other. We go back to the whole Seiryo Kuzenyu of, Jitakyoe of judo, which is mutual prosperity for self and others. So if you have anything else to add, please let me know down below. The book will be linked in the description below. And of course, thank you, Eric Shehan, for these incredible findings. And of course, the link for Eric Shehan's books, translated books, will be in the description as well. This was Shadi, and thank you for listening.